People dumber than you are making more money than you. This is a sentiment that I've been seeing all over YouTube for the last couple of months. And I thought it was interesting because in school, we're conditioned that smart people are the most successful. I mean, teachers like them more, they get the best grades, it just seems like everything's going better for them. But in today's society, people that are perceived as dumb are making tons of money. So that begs the question, is being smart all it's cracked up to be? Well, let's break it down. Now, intelligence is a great trait to have, but it does come with its fair share of downsides. One of the biggest ones being overthinking and overanalyzing things. Now, when this happens, smart people get trapped into this cycle of thoughts, right? Where they're revolving an idea over and over in their head and not taking much action, which leads to something called analysis paralysis, where they're analyzing something so deeply, so intently, that they never actually do the thing. In their mind, this is a good thing, right? They think they have to think through all these things because everything needs to be perfect. They think that they have to plan for every single possible outcome. But that's impossible. You literally just can't plan for everything. You must expect the unexpected. Unfortunately, with intelligent people, this often just doesn't seem to click, and they have to think things through. They have to find the perfect answer, come up with the perfect plan, and they're never able to get out of their own minds. Intelligence is a curse when the one with it can't learn to shut their own mind off. Chris Jamie. Now, this is deep on so many levels, right? Because if you can just learn to take control of your mind and stop this overthinking cycle, you can get so much more done. Another struggle of intelligent people is that they often find it difficult to ask for help. Throughout much of their life, they've always been able to do things on their own, figure things out on their own. And in fact, the opposite might be true, where people often came to them for help. And because of that, they never really learned to ask others to lend them a hand. They have become overly self-reliant. Now, self-reliance isn't like the worst trait in the world. It's actually important to be able to do things on your own and figure things out on your own without relying on others to get you there. Now, the problem with smart people is that when it comes to an actual struggle that they can't get past, they can't seem to ask for help, which just overcomplicates the whole process, right? It makes it take longer. They may figure it out on their own, but it's just going to be so much harder to jump past those hurdles than if you just ask someone with all the experience already to come and show you how to do it. This is something that I myself have struggled with in the past. I'm one of 6 siblings, and all of my siblings, older or younger, they've often come to me for help, for advice on things, and it led me to this point where I was so used to doing things on my own and figuring things out on my own that asking for help was difficult. I'm getting better at it now, but it's still something that I struggle with from time to time. The other thing smart people often struggle with is high expectations and pressure. Now, because they are smart, people often have high expectations of them, or they think people have high expectations of them, but they really have high expectations of themselves. These expectations often lead to fear of letting people down, letting themselves down, feeling like they're not enough, inadequacy, and this can be mentally taxing, draining. It can get to the point where it leads to anxiety, and all of these things will eventually culminate into no action being taken. Now, you might be thinking, that's a whole lot of negative. Being smart sucks. What can I do about it? Well, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to simply get started even if you don't feel ready. You've read enough, you've studied enough, you've planned enough. The truth is, you really don't have to be an expert to start at anything. You learn along the way. Because if you wait until that perfect moment, chances are you'll never feel ready. Getting started is the most difficult thing, and after that, everything just starts to feel easier. I mean, take me for example with this YouTube thing, right? Before I posted my first video, I was overthinking the whole thing. Got to a point where I was just watching all these how-to videos about how to get started and how to grow your channel, how to do this, how to do that, and I realized that it was just too much. What I had to do was simply get past that initial fear of posting, and once I did that, everything else seemed to fall into place, right? Like the editing part is easy, all of that. Anyway, the point is, you can't be afraid to fail. In fact, you should embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Henry Ford said, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. So whatever it is you want to do, maybe you want to start a business, a side hustle, new hobby, maybe you want to start YouTube, just get started on it, knowing that if you fail along the way, you'll just come out smarter in the end. I would also encourage you to keep the spotlight effect in mind, which essentially says people don't pay nearly as much attention to you as you think they do. The reality is people don't care what you're doing. They're not paying attention to what you're doing, which is a great thing when you're just getting started because you don't have to worry about people finding the wrong things that you did, right? Oftentimes, by the time you get noticed, you're already pretty good at the thing you're doing, and by that point, you want people to notice you. So to sum it all up, being smart isn't inherently bad. It's actually really good. If you're smart and you can get over these struggles, if you can get out of your head, you truly can achieve anything you want to achieve. So whatever it is you want to do, get out there and get started. And if any of you have ever dealt with something like this, where you're overthinking, overanalyzing, maybe you just have a fear of failure, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I think it's important for people to know that they're not alone. And sharing your story, I think, just kind of helps get over that. So yeah, comment down below. So that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, maybe you'll like one of my other videos. If you like the content I'm putting out, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you all next time.